Shalom, and welcome to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul, your Biblical Hebrew podcast. Shalom, and welcome to our Biblical Hebrew podcast. Today we received a question regarding a verse from Songs of Songs 2, verse 17. We shall read the verse in Hebrew, translate it into English, and see what kind of a secret hides behind those words and those letters. Songs of Songs 2:17. Ad sheyafuach hayom, until the day is blown, v'nasu hatzlalim, and the shadow escaped. Sov, deme lecha dudi, turn, resemble yourself, my uncle, litzvi, to a deer, or leofer ha'ayalim, or to the fawn of rams, al harei veter, upon or on the mountains of Beter or Vater. The reality which is described in this verse deals with our life. Usually when we look at a butterfly, and a butterfly lives only one day, we think, this beautiful butterfly, it lives only one day. And we think that we are fortunate to live longer. We live days, weeks, months, years, decades, maybe hundreds. And we think that we are luckier than the butterfly. But the Bible wants to portray us another reality. The Bible says here that all the course of our life is considered to be one day. Again, all the course of our life is considered to be one day, one illumination. So what does this verse mean? Ad sheyafuach hayom, until the day is blown. The word or the verb yafuach comes from the root in Hebrew to blow, to blown, like what God did in Genesis. He blew into his nostril the soul of life. This is how human came to be. But like the man who makes the glass and blows air into the glass, and then the glass gets its form from the blown of the man. Once the man stopped blowing, the glass will not get any shape. So this is what the verse tries to tell us here. Ad sheyafuach hayom, meaning the day is stopped to be blown. Once the day is stopped to be blown by higher force, our illumination stopped be blown by higher force, the shadows are escaping. What does this reality which is mentioned in this verse mean? Our life here on this planet composed of two shadows. Maybe it's not the right moment to go into this, but our life here as humans are composed of two shadows. A big shadow and a little shadow. Once the day is over, the course of the life of one person is over, those two shadows are escaping. Once those two shadows are escaping, we can move to the next life. And this verse deals with this moment of transformation And at this moment, the person request is simple. Resemble my uncle to a deer. To be resembled to a deer. Why? Because the movement of the deer in nature is always to move forward, not to get stuck in this life. So at this moment, when the day is blown, the shadows are moving, 2 shadows are escaping or moving, it's a hint that a human soul will not remain to illuminate this body. And then in this specific moment, the request of the soul is to continue like a deer forward, or like a fawn, like a baby fawn, because the ram, here the Hebrew says Ofer Ayalim, meaning a fawn of the ram, son of the ram, but zoologically it doesn't make any sense. But the Hebrew is different, because a fawn in Hebrew is Ofer. Ofer. Ein, Pe, Resh. Ein, Pe, Resh. Afar is also ashes. Ayalim in Hebrew are rams in English, but Ayal, a ram, is also a synonym to a person who makes or involved in good economy or leads the rough things in life, deals with a lot of money, with a lot of capital. So the request of the soul in this moment when the day is gone is either the uncle, the source, will be resembled to a deer that continues forward to the next world, or the soul asks to be like a fawn. Better is not just a name. Better also consists of the word Brit, covenant, but the word Brit, covenant, is better, Bet Tafresh, with the letter Yod inside. So the request of the soul is simple. In this moment when the shadows are gone, the soul has in a way 2 options. And this is what the souls ask from God, to show her the way, either to resemble, the source will be resemble to a deer, and then the soul can continue to the next life, or the uncle shall be resembled to a fawn, a baby fawn, which is running on the mountains of Better. Better is not just a name in Hebrew. Bet, Taf, Resh are the 3 Hebrew letters that we meet here. Bet equals 2, Taf equals 400, and Resh equals 200. So all of those 3 letters consist with duality. So what are the mountains of Better? Is the mountains of duality, or we said before that Ha in Hebrew comes from Hirhur, pondering a thought, and Harei Veter is not just a geographical description, but a mountain is a thought, and Harei Beter is the thoughts of duality. So how we make a whole picture from those words, from those letters. Once person life is over, the day is over, and the shadows are escaping, meaning the soul cannot illuminate those shadows anymore. There are 2 options: either to continue to the next life like a deer, or to return to experience life like a fawn, the son of the ram, son of a stronger economical person. But Ofer is not just a phone. Afar is ashes, and people who deals with money, in Hebrew we call them Eilei Hon. Eilei Hon is people that they have strong horns. They deal with finances. But what is motivating them is the ashes. There's a deep thinking in those letters. I hope we can get a grip on this inner intention. So once we live this life, there are two options: either to continue like a deer to the next life, or to return like a fawn, which is jumping on the mountains of duality, meaning to go back to this life again and experience duality again. And this is one option to read this verse. There are many more. We wish you a beautiful day and wonderful week.
Thank you for listening to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to hear more about a certain topic, just write us an email to hebrew@learnoutlive.com. We are always happy to hear from you. For more episodes, videos, and articles like this, please visit our website at hebrew.learnoutlive.com. We also would like to invite you to join our live classes. Just search for Online College of Biblical Hebrew on Facebook and start learning now with students from all over the world. Koltuv and Shalom.